This is my first impressions of the iPhone 16 after using it for 6 months, with a full review to come. In terms of the design and build quality of this iPhone 16, it is really nice. In the 6 months I've had this device, no complaints at all. I love the size, it's very compact, and as a result of that, what it means is that it will sit neatly into most rear pants, trousers, or even shorts pockets. Also, in terms of colors, yeah, I really like this marine color here. And I think I think it's 5 colors that it comes in. I think any of the colors, yeah, you'll be happy with. It does look really nice, I have to say. And obviously you've got the camera set up here. I'll talk about that a little later. And the other thing as well is that you do have stereo speakers on here. So even though you have one speaker grill at the bottom here, and there's no speaker grills at the top there, but trust me when I tell you that there's like a speaker, but it's embedded in this part here. Very difficult to show on camera. And between them, they produce really good sound quality.
The back is not a fingerprint magnet, which is really nice, and neither are the sides. However, on the front, because it's made of glass, yeah, it will attract fingerprints, but not too bad actually. And in terms of the button configuration, you can see everything's in the right place there. And you also have the antenna lines, and on this side, yep, you have the camera control, talk about that later, and yeah, the on-off power button.
Another thing as well to notice here, the bezels, I have to be honest, they're not an issue for me whatsoever. If you want to watch something on here, you're not going to be looking at the bezels. I think they're actually quite nice. I have to say, the software on the iPhone 16 has been superb. I've had no stutters, glitches, or anything. One of the nice things about buying Apple products is that they work. And it's the same with this as well. Well, in the 6 months or so I've had this, I've had no issues with it. Everything works seamlessly. And also you should get, well, maybe at least 6 years of software updates. So you know that this device is future proof. And also, if I just go into the toggle section here, one thing I do like, and you will notice, is if you don't use the device for a certain period of time, you will notice that it automatically dims really low, which is really good because it does save you some battery. So if you turn it on and you think, oh, it doesn't look as bright as it usually is, all you need to do, just go into the toggle section there and then just increase the brightness like so. So that's nice. I really like that. When it comes to presentation, of course, you do get the device along with some paperwork. You also get a SIM tool ejector along with a Type-C to Type-C braided charging cable. This is great news because as an Android user, it means I can use the same cable for both Android and Apple devices. The downside with this cable is that you can only use it to charge your iPhone with another device, whereas in practice, people are more likely to use a USB-A to Type-C charging cable, which is far more practical. So Apple, if you're watching this, please provide us with a USB-A to Type-C charging cable. Take this Poco X5 Pro, which is around $350 brand new. Besides the device, you do get a SIM tool ejector, a flexible transparent case, the usual paperwork, a Type-C to Type-A charging cable, and a 67-watt charging brick, which will have you up and running in no time. Apple, take note, because that is what an unboxing experience should be like. When it comes to call quality, I've had no issues with the iPhone 16. Calls are clear, crisp and sharp. The Face ID on this is par excellence, to the point that it's even better than my daily driver, which is the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, which I'm currently filming this on. this is blazing fast, but the S24 Ultra, the Face ID on that, not very good. Okay, so just to put that to the test, just do that, bam, should let me in like that. Look at that, smooth as butter. What I want to do now is show you how the Face ID works in the dark. So as you can see, it requires the Face ID. So what I'm going to do, just lift it up. Look at that. Charging the device should take a good hour and a half from 0%, which is not bad at this price point. Because take my main daily driver, which is the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, that takes roughly the same time and does cost a good $500 more than the iPhone 16. This has an IP68 rating, meaning two things. First, it is dust resistant, which is ideal if you work in a dusty environment. Secondly, it is water resistant. So if you drop this in water for up to 6 meters for 30 minutes, you are safe in the knowledge that it will work. It does strike me as odd that you only have a 60 Hz refresh rate on the iPhone 16. Whereas I can think of other devices costing less than half the price, having a 120 Hz refresh rate. On the Poco X5 Pro here, you have the option of 60 Hz or the 120 Hz refresh rate. Take the Google Pixel 8a and the 9a, which both have the option of a 120 Hz refresh rate. The cameras on this device take really nice photos and videos, and I will show you some samples very shortly. Now, one of the reasons that Apple gave for this vertical configuration for this camera setup is so that you can take spatial videos and spatial photos. The Apple Vision Pro glasses comes in at around $2,000 plus tax, and I cannot see anyone who is going to purchase the iPhone 16, 16 Pro or the 16 Pro Max purchasing them. Maybe I'm wrong. So let's go into the camera app, and as you can see the bottom carousel there. So let's start with photos. There's a lot of cool things you can do with this device, and if you just top right here, if you select that, you've got different filters, so you can go along like so. Look at that, you've got different filters, really nice. Do like that, got lots of options, and you can go all the way and even up until black and white. Again, really cool. You can play around with this. Now, I have covered this in a separate bite-sized video, so you can always go over there and play around with this feature. Okay, so obviously we've got video, and one thing to note is that you can shoot video up to a maximum of 4K 60 frames per second with both the front and the rear facing camera. Again, really nice. And here, if we move along, we've got cinematic. Again, that gives you like a bokeh effect on your photos, really nice. And then you've got slow motion, time lapse there. And if you just move along, see portrait, look at this, obviously you've got spatial, so again, really cool. And then you've got panoramic. The other thing you can do, especially in video mode, is if you just tap on this option here, so that's the action mode. So if you want to catch something that's fast moving, you do have that ability. Then just move it there, obviously you've got your flash. And the other thing as well is, so you're recording video, so obviously you can go down to ultra wide, and just here, look at that, you can zoom all the way up there. Look at that, to 6x zoom, and look at the quality on that. I think that's really nice. Now, obviously, what you've got to be mindful of is you don't want to be using this for something that's too far away. It will be blurry and it will not come out well. So something not too far away is ideal. And also, let's go into the photos. So again, so you want to take a photo, look at that. You can go all the way up to 10x zoom. So again, yes, it's not bad. And like with the video, you do want to make sure that whatever you want to take that is at 10x zoom is not too far away. Otherwise, it would just be really grainy. And yeah, again, back there. So yeah, really simple. Now let's take a look at some sample photos and videos taken with the iPhone 16. And remember, none of them have been doctored pre or post-production. someone that likes to take a lot of photos or videos, I would highly recommend not buying the 128GB model, because when you take away the system storage, you're not going to be left with much. So if you're buying this for yourself, family member or a friend, you'll fill up the device in no time. If you're enjoying this video, then a subscribe to the channel below would be liberating, and it is free to do, as my analytics are showing less than 3% of you are subscribed to the channel. And a big thank you to those of you who have subscribed to the channel. There's a lot of talk about this camera control button, which I do not use all the time, but when I do use it, I find it really useful. Now, I have this Sony Xperia 1 Mark II, which has something very similar, so this is not alien to me. So very quickly, just press on it. It launches the camera, and then if I just like that, so you can see, sort of zoom that way and so forth. And then you can use it. If I go one more, that will launch the front facing camera. Okay. And then obviously, if you just press on it, you can use it to take a photo. And for video, just show you how it works. Slightly different on video. So what you do is maybe you want it that way or in this portrait mode. You have to keep your finger down. You can see it's recording at the top. And the moment you let go, it stops recording. So that, there you go. So really simple. And if I just take it back there, and then the other thing you can do, I'm going to try and demonstrate this. I'll try and make a separate video on how this works. So if I just take a photo like that, and then if I just double press, look at this. So now I have some, okay, just, oops, here we go. Come to live recording. So you got cameras, photo stars, put that in there so you can see that. Just move along, you've got those, and then you just keep going. So again, it just takes a little getting used to, but once you get the hang of it, yeah, it's okay. So if I just go on, let's go on. Zoom, and then I just press again on zoom, look at that. So now I can keep zooming, look at that. So yeah, so that sort of how it works really in a nutshell. I cannot believe it has taken Apple 6 months to launch Apple Intelligence here in the UK. And the worst part is other countries will have to wait longer for it. Ouch. Apple Intelligence does include things like the cleanup, which is very much like the Magic Eraser on Android devices. So basically it can remove objects and people. And yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Yeah, like all of them, you do find that they are not perfect. But overall, yeah, good idea. You also have writing tools. So if you want to compose an email or send a message to someone, you can change the format from either formal or professional to casual, friendly, etc. So that's really nice. In addition to that, you also have the image playground and Genimoji, which are both very similar in that you can create whatever image that you'd like. I really like this. I think this is really great, especially for the kids out there. But I'm a big grown man and I really like the Genimoji. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to go for the iPhone 16. On top of that, you also have an option where you can find photos and videos just by typing it in and just let the device search for them. So if you're trawling back and forth, maybe if you're going back months or maybe years, but with the find photos and videos option, brilliant. Just let it do it automatically for you. You also have priority notifications. So you have the most important ones at the top and then stacked as well. That's really nice. Really good option. And in terms of the camera control, yeah, that's great. You can use it to also identify places and objects. I don't use that much, but yeah, it's very good indeed. And on top of that, you have Siri, so it feels more personal. And yeah, really good. So all of these features, they may not be for everyone, but I think there'll be something in there for everyone. On top of all of that, you do have SOS. So in case of an emergency, no issues there at all. So that's at your beck and call. And one of the other great things with Apple products is that it does have a great ecosystem. That's one of the things that I think keeps people to Apple. Everything just works seamlessly. So whether you've got a Mac, iPad, laptop, watch, everything just synchronizes easily. Really nice. I think, yeah, that's definitely a plus in terms of the Apple ecosystem. And as I mentioned earlier, everything works really well on this device. No stutters, no glitches, nothing in the 6 months that I've had it. And then just whilst we're here, again, so many things you got. And also like the fact that you do have a hidden folder there. So if you want to keep things private and confidential, you do have the ability to store it there. Worst of all, we still do not have all of the AI features promised by Apple, to the point that they've started taking down some of the original advertisements for them. Say for instance, I'm lying down on a couch watching television, which I happen to do a lot of, and I know that I've got to get up pretty soon to go and run an errand. So with the iPhone 16, because it doesn't have an always on display, so I have to move from my comfort snug zone, and you know what that feels like, people. Reach out, touch the screen, and I can see, oh, it's 6:32 on a Saturday morning. So I've probably got another 45 minutes or so before I gotta get up. So you can see, only lasts a few seconds, then I have to keep tapping it. Now imagine having to do this for the periodically for the next 45 minutes. Absolutely frustrating. Whereas on the right there, you have the Google Pixel 7a, which has the always on display. And as you can see, it is perfect. So I can see the time, the date, and the weather widget without having to tap it numerously like the iPhone 16. One thing that has always puzzled me with iPhones, including this iPhone 16, and that is that you do not have the ability to have split screen apps. And as a result, you can multitask. And I know what some of you are going to be saying, well, this is actually a small device, so don't really need that feature. Well, I would agree with you, but at the same time, I would argue that the smaller screen should not be an issue, because here I have the Google Pixel 7a, which is nearly the same in terms of dimensions. I also have the 6a, which I believe is smaller. And as you can see, you can multitask on this small device. Cannot tell you how useful that is. Say you're out and about, even at home, you can compare anything having two apps side by side, either in the vertical or the horizontal orientation like here. So maybe I can compare a phone I've seen on Best Buy versus Amazon, etc. And I'd really wish that Apple would adopt this feature. What's even more alarming is that it doesn't even appear on their Pro and Pro Max models, which have larger displays. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. My name is Shola. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another episode. Ciao.